Godzilla -1.
Alrighty, and there he is. Blue, spiky, and a bit shiny, but that's mostly due to the photography lighting, as in natural lighting and not giant fuck-off light bulbs, this guy really ain't all that shiny. There's a lot to cover and a lot to look at, so let's get started with the roaring head. Eyes are looking nice and fantastical. The teeth are surprisingly fire. Wow. Okay. I guess if I had to complain about anything, I'd say that the paint for his skin is a bit on the heavy-handed side. But I really, really do love this roaring head, and this is probably going to be the one and only time the neutral head is going to be on the figure. So with that being said, I will finish what Shikishima started. Bolt gun reference.
It is I, Malum Kaido.
Alright, Leroy Humperdinck, let's see what you're working with here. Teeth, still pretty good. I would definitely say the roaring head is much better looking. Eyes, I'd say, are still pretty on point. This guy over here is a bit on the runny side, but eye size, pinky tip. Detail, magnificent, and that somewhat heavy-handed paint job nature will be present on both heads, so at least that's consistent. It's the tightest hole I ever had to shove something into. IKEA. My god, isn't he just a sight? Wow, wow, wow. Okay. Over here at the super awesome Super 7
Titty Cradle.
We're going to get a nice mixture of paint on top of the black plastic. I dig it. It's not insanely heavy-handed, and from far away, it is noticeable. Titty profile shot into shoulder blade and bicep over here. I think there's a really good mixture going on. Ah, Super 7, my guys, my gals, you gave him the frosted tips on his elbows. I greatly appreciate that. And he's gonna have some frosted tips all along his back, his side, moving into his legs, but hey, we ain't there yet. We gotta go somewhere else first. So the back of the neck over here is actually going to match up with the head rather well. It does take a bit of a break over here on the side of the neck, but it doesn't disrupt the circadian rhythms. And just look at that. It's like it's right out of the movie. It's very, very nice. The paint job is pretty damn good, and the detailing is top friggin' notch. Move along, like I know you two. Again, more of that paint and detailing that I've been praising for the past however long many minutes. Was that a proper sentence? However long many minutes? Bro's hands are going to see somewhat of an imbalance of that color, but I'm pretty sure the SH Monster Arts version that I talked about not too long ago had the same thing going on with the same two hands. That's nutty. Super 7 and Bandai are actually secret best friends. Finally, moving on from his massive milkers, we can move into the rest of the body over here, into the legs, into the feet. The tannish brown color is still very much present. You're going to have to squint in some areas to really get at it. But once you see it, it's there. It's just not as loud as this, but it's there. I swear to God, I'm not lying to you. The proof is in the puddings. And as we move down through there into the thighs and feet, yeah, I'm okay with everything that's on display here. And unlike some other -1 figures that I've talked about in length in the past, the paint's actually going to cover a better part of the thighs and shins. You know, for certain figures, this paint over here, it's only really on the front of the thigh, not the back. Forget about the shins. The fact that these things are painted, nutty. The feet over here are gonna be a bit wacky. I'm really not bummed about it though, because everything else going on up here is so much nicer. Let's give him 385 solid X's for unpainted middle toe. Alright, now we can move into what everybody really wants to see. The charged up dorsal fins. A very important distinction. I mean, first off, the detailing over here is beautiful. It's fantastic. And I love that you can actually see the nerve ending like roots to these here dorsal fins as they're all shot up and charged and ready to expel. So many people be asking why it didn't come with the heat ray effect. And it's like, did you not watch the movie? He didn't fire his heat ray until these things went back into his body. It's like, yeah, I get it, but we can't be bitching and moaning about accuracy and then asking for an accessory that doesn't really lend itself to accuracy. Plus, I'm pretty sure that's a completely different, what is it, license, trademark? Yeah, basically, Toho won't allow a charged up version to have a heat ray because that's fucking accurate. And I don't doubt that Super 7 will probably get to a heat ray version of this guy at some point because, I mean, they've done everything else except for Gerard Goji. Super 7, where is he? Yeah, I love the dorsal fins. I love the lighter blue yogurty paint on his back to give off that emitting light look. Everything about this guy is impressive and lovely. I just can't stop loving him. And there's going to be like a light dark blue on certain parts of these here dorsal fins that'll kind of like, what's the word? Recreate like the darker areas for when these things get all lit up. And even if that's not what they're intended for, I mean, dark blue on lighter blue ain't exactly a fashion don't or something. Again, I quite like it. It makes me want to have a blueberry slushie, and I think Super 7 absolutely understood the assignment and did not fail at all. I would very much suggest to be very, very careful around these dorsal fins. The higher they get up, the thinner they get, and the more brittle they feel. When you put this guy on a shelf, make sure he's deep into the shelf, not near no edges or nothing like that. Because if this guy falls, I can see something either getting bent or snapping. There's no two ways about it, even though I just... forget it. And ayo, not gonna lie, I actually really dig that a lot of the dorsal fins, especially the bigger ones, are going to be one piece. These aren't colliding with one another. They're actually, it looks like they were pulled from the mold as just one piece. Real. And I think that's cool because they were going to be colliding anyway, so why not save yourself some heartache and just make it into one piece? And you'll see that to such an extent over here, moving into the tail even. Yeah, I don't think anybody's exactly complaining about that. Let's move the tail a little bit. See? Yeah, they're stuck together. They look great, and it's intentional. Case in point, there's nothing to really complain about here. And also, just like SH Monster Arts, the tail, save for the spikes, not dorsal fins, is going to be mostly unpainted. So I guess statues get the globbed on paint on the tail, but the articulated figures do not. At the end of the day, who gives a shit? Look at this thing. It's beautiful. I'm sorry it took me so long to get peak, but look at those blues. Bro, look at those friggin' blues. My God. If I ever have my eyes removed, I hope it's by these. Size comparisons. Super crispy and overcharged Godzilla will be standing at over 8 inches tall. Really nice. Shokugan, Japan Godzilla. Theatrically limited movie. Premiumly limited king. SH Monster Arts. HG Finger Pops. Alright, friends and neighbors, articulation time. At the head, we will be able to look up just high enough to ask God to kill Peter Parker, and then down rather far just at the head. But thankfully, we're gonna have a ball joint at this neck. My God, look at my finger. We're gonna get another ball joint to help us look even further down. But on tops of the ups and downs, we're gonna get, you know, curves to the left, curves to the right. I realize I just mixed those twos up. I don't give a shit. You're gonna be able to do quite a lot, and this is much better than what we've gotten on Ultimates in the past, and I think again, Super 7 knocked this out of the friggin' park, dude. And now to revisit what I said earlier in the video when talking about Godzilla's
Titty cradle.
Why do I call it a titty cradle? Look at that bend. Look at that. I love that. He can look so far down. And, of course, we can get a full swivel. It's going to look ridiculous, but it's possible. And possibility is only part of the fight against drugs. And like others before me, I do have to make the recommendation, do not spin the torso like this until you've moved it so the dorsal fins can clear the others. These dorsal fins, yeah, they worry me a little bit, and in turn, I want them to worry you too, and I want you to take care of your toys. Don't be like my ex-wife and play with my heart until it breaks. Oh yeah. Horrifying and emotionally distressed T-posing not rubber lizard. Oh. On top of that movement, they can swivel all the way around. We're getting bisexual in here, and they can go all the way around too. We're getting elbular in here, and they can move in and out as well as swivel. I'm so glad these spikes are part of the bicep piece and not the actual forearm. Very good choice there, Super 7. And we've got Godzilla's clawed hand, which will be able to swivel all the way around and bend in. Ow. And out. Very nice. He can do the heisei. He can do the other heisei. Or he can do the peak. Yes. Why am I suffering? Now, when it comes to the legs over here, my god, my palm is in pain. They will be able to kick up about that far until I start getting nervous, and they will be able to kick back pretty dang far too, not pushing it. At the knee, we'll get bend in and out. Nothing crazy, but nothing to sniff at or blow your nose at, whatever the term is. We're also going to get a swivel at the knee, a swivel and pivot at the ankle, yes, and of course a bend up and bend down at the ankle as well. No posable toes though. And now we can move on to the tail, which I think Super 7 has vastly improved on since Wave 1 of the Toho Ultimates. Now at the base of the tail over here, you're really not gonna get any, curves because it's just how it is. I will say, once again, when you're going to move the tail, bend it out so the dorsal fin's clear. Look at how tiny these things are. They're very thin. So always bend out before you swivel. Much to my surprise though, the bends left and right is going to start at the exact next piece. So we can bend, 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 and bend a little bit more. Yes, we've got ourselves a pretty decent curve going on over here, fam. It's a ball joint, so they can all swivel, but it's more so this bend and the ability to hold that bend that I'm really, really impressed with here. And after many moments of tailpiece finagling, we are going to be gifted quite possibly the best operating tail on a Super 7 Godzilla Ultimates ever. Look at that bird's eye view. He be bending. Listen, we wanted better and improved articulation. Super 7's giving it to us, fam. And if this level of articulation is anything to go off of with future new molds from Super 7 and their Toho Ultimates line, count me in. Hopefully my budget is up to snuff so I don't make a video nearly, 6 or 5 months late? I'm sorry. Just shift that back into place, give that a curve, get the bend out of there, lift that up, S-curve, posability and glowy stuff. So in terms of posability, as I'm sure I've said multiple times already, this isn't SH Monster Arts, but I'd argue this is just as fucking good. This guy has size. This guy has aura. This guy will bring presence to your shelf spaces no matter what pose you get him into. Even if it's this running pose right here. I'm surprised I got it. He ain't leaning up against nothing. I've been having so much fun with this figure over the past 24 hours. It's been such a joy just getting him into poses and just looking at him and soaking in all that aura. But the aura only continues once you bring out a UV light. Because, and this is exclusive to this, the paint on his body reacts and shows up and it looks extra friggin' cool. Now, dorsal fins, yeah, they're the main focus here. I think they glow and look fantastic. I'm not taking away from that. But when you look at this shot right here, that is so friggin' badass, I think I might be sterile. My God. I love the way everything shines. I love the way everything glows. Unintentional UV reactant paint is such a plus for me. Super 7 did a great job, whether they intended that or not, and I can't sing my praises enough. Poses, aura, light, glow, the whole 9 yards. If you haven't picked this thing up yet, Uncle Rob is telling you, do it now. I love this guy. I really do. He doesn't need to be posable like an SH Monster Arts figure because, quite honestly, that's not what Super 7 was going for from the start. Which makes me want to remake that Wave 1 Ultimates review to be a bit fairer in that context. Let me know in the comment section down below. Check out my social media, including my Patreon, $1 a month, access to everything I have planned. And now I am going to enjoy the rest of my birth week relaxing. Goodbye. These doors.